My name is Ben. I'm in my last year studying biophysics at Emory University, and today we're going to talk about how we can master the art of learning, and we're going to talk about 3 evidence-based tips to learn faster and to learn better. Tip number 1, surveying in a quick overview. In 1946, there's a paper called Effective Studying published by Francis P. Robertson. He says, glance over the headings in the chapter to see a few big points which will be developed. And he talks about a study specifically that talked about 118 college sophomores were put in 2 equated groups. One group being shown how to skim over headings and summaries, and the other not. When 2 groups were given a section to read, the trained group read 24% faster and just as accurate as students who read in the usual way. Such a quick overview orients the students and permits a partial pre-comprehension of what's to come. Now the key here is this shouldn't take more than a minute. You should glance over, you should see what the section's headers are, and you should get an idea of what you're going to read. You should find maybe 3 to 6 core ideas of what the chapter's going to talk about and write that down to the side. This is going to help you organize your ideas, and now as you read, all you'll be doing is placing those ideas into the bins you've already set. The next technique we're going to talk about is active recall. Active recall is the idea about spending your time studying, trying to recall the information from your brain rather than passing over, passively just absorbing the material. Now, in that same study, Effective Study by Francis P. Robertson, he talks about 2 subject groups. One group that had read a passage and was quizzed on it 2 weeks later, and another group who read a passage and had several opportunities to recite the plot of the passage and then was quizzed on it as well 2 weeks later. The group that had no active recall scored a 20% average on the exam, and the group that did have active recall scored an 80% on the exam. A good way to integrate this into your study plan is, under the 3 to 6 core ideas, write down questions after you've finished reading the section. This means that after reading a complete section, you can quiz your mind about what you've read, and this also sets up a system for questions that you can go back to recall your memory later on in the future. The third technique we're going to talk about is spaced repetition. This is somewhat of a continuation from active recall, but it's spreading out active recall over several days. In an 1885 paper titled Spacing Effects and Their Implications for Theory and Practice, said that students that had to memorize a 12-syllable series, it took 68 repetitions if they tried to memorize it immediately after seeing the series for the first time. This means that if you spread out your studying over several days, you can cut your studying time almost in half. So if you wait longer to begin to study, all you're doing is increasing the amount of time you're going to have to study to master the material. Now, whether you integrate some or all of these materials into your studying routine, all of these 3 ideas are data-backed ways to improve your grades and improve your studying techniques. All 3 work well in a Notion page where you can set up heading sections of your core ideas. You can write in questions as you go through after you've read the material, and you can return to those questions several times to do active recall sessions leading up to your exams. I've linked a Notion template in the description of this video that'll help you integrate this into your Notion page and help you integrate these studying techniques today. I hope you enjoyed these 3 tips, and good luck studying. That's gold.